My Brother's Eyes by David and John Ayliffe. The true story of the blindness of a destructive cult, told by two brothers separated by it. True insight into the psychology of a sect, both from the inside and the out, is very rare. This account by two brothers is illuminating, fascinating, and intelligent. Bryce Courtenay. Read by the authors. 1.
Beware of the devil dressed as a man of peace. Bob Dylan. Life breaks everybody, but then some become strong at the broken places. Ernest Hemingway. And I have learnt that my faith in God can survive any religion. Margaret Scott Ayliffe.
Dedication. Smooth the descent and easy the way. The gates of hell stand open night and day. But to return and view the cheerful skies, in this the task and mighty labour lies.
We dedicate this book to our families and to all those people who suffer because of extreme religious beliefs that divide and bring untold pain to themselves and others. We write as brothers who were separated before we knew each other, but are now happily reconciled. David writes from the inside, where he knows how his mind was controlled by another, one who convinced her followers she was God and tortured them to deny those they loved for a so-called higher purpose. David's story will be familiar to many. It is one of fear, intolerance, and personality breakdown. But there is always another side to what has become known as destructive cultism. That is, after all, has a cause and effect. Telling the story through his eyes, John represents those on the outside who struggle to understand what has happened, and why David and his family he will build in isolation are not part of their lives. Meanwhile, John is having his own trials in the search for fulfilment and meaning in life. So for us, our bittersweet story became a journey, and one of healing, discovery, and finding each other. David.
1984. Fear and guilt. A phone is ringing, and I'm not in the house to answer it. Nobody is permitted to do so except me. I know its occurrence will have put the fear of Pastor Pryor into my wife, and as I leap to my feet like the man possessed I have become, I'm sweating instantly. Our backyard is steep, and I'm out of breath before I reach the house and frantically climb the 14 steps before bursting through the back door. A fit man would have done it in a heartbeat, but I am no exercise freak. In fact, I loathe sports of all descriptions. Anyway, the demands of our leader, whom we know as God, give me little time for anything but Zion business these days, and because we are kept continually poor, I need the few hours I do get to attend to matters I expect other people pay to have done. When the phone rang, I was changing the oil in our 15-year-old Ford. I am not a pretty picture covered in grease and sweat. But the phone must be answered, and only by me. I wish it could be otherwise. Margaret, my wife, is only a few feet from the insistent ringing, but she knows the phone is out of bounds to her. She is ironing. Momentarily, having something else to concentrate takes her mind off the larger problem and perhaps the feeling of repression she must feel. I wish that were different too. Ever since Violet brought me close to her by making me one of her pillar, I've been afraid to say anything that might be taken as criticism. If only. I wish that our 6-year-old daughter Grace could answer it, or 4-year-old Nahum, or even 2-year-old Ruth. Surely Violet would suffer the children. Jesus was angry with the disciples for preventing children coming to him, and said that we must become just like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. But just as these thoughts race through my head, I remember how angry Violet would be if anyone else answered the phone but me. The children would not be spared her wrath.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?